Jesus astonished his hearers by bringing out the deepest inner meaning of the law, thus correcting what the rabbis had been teaching the people. Why had they corrupted the law? Because in corrupting the law, they were making themselves admired by the people and also being paid by the people gratuitously for their rulings on the law. By doing so, Jesus interprets the law and teaches us how to obey it. And in this particular lesson, he used three illustrations. That is not Jesus, but Sinclair used three illustrations. The first one was the story about his son, who he had taught to be a golfer, but not a very good one, and that he had taken him to a special pro that he knew, and over the course of time, this professional golfer was able to teach his son how to become a really good golfer. And what he said, and what everybody should say within our own group about you, is that I could hear and I could see the transformation that took place in my son when he hit the ball. And I'm sure that there are a number of people that you can point to within our congregation where you have clearly seen this transformation take place. The first illustration that he gave us was one of reconciliation. There is more than one way to murder someone, he said. Oh, how can that be? What he said is that the tongue is a blunt force trauma hammer. In other words, demeaning somebody else's character through insults is a way of murdering another individual. So, thou shalt not murder in the Ten Commandments does not simply mean homicide. It means you can murder somebody simply by demeaning them through insults. Just as God has reconciled us to himself, we should seek reconciliation with others, whether or not they are Christians. We should always be ready to move to reconciliation. And furthermore, we should not wait for others to come to us when reconciliation is required. He also indicated to us that if your reconciliation fails to move another, in other words, it still does not reconcile that individual, then you are no longer responsible for that individual's actions before the Lord. You've done your best to bring about reconciliation, and sometimes it can be refused. It's no longer your responsibility. And of course, the Lord encourages us to always seek reconciliation at all cost to our egos. So egos go out the door when we have problems with one another. We have to put them at the doorstep, enter the room, and have an honest discussion with one another so that we can reconcile ourselves between our brothers and our sisters.